Welcome to the Sustainable Living Date with me, Tuesday 6 p.m. on Namami Live with me, Payal Sen. Today we're talking sustainable living from the point of view of how current trends do not dictate what we wear and how we affect our mood with what we wear. Today's guest has actually been part of the fashion fraternity for a couple of decades now. And without any further ado, I would like to introduce her and have her on board. She is from the label of Ashima and Leena. We will be having Leena Singh join us today. How are you?
Yeah. Yeah. Good, Payal. How are you, Payal?
I'm good. Leena ji, I was just filling in the viewers about everything about sustainable living, and now we are ready to ask you all the questions. So I want to ask you first, tell us about the journey of your brand over the past 2 decades and what you stand for, and how the current trends do not any longer dictate how we as consumers dress, how we are thinking for ourselves without going blindly with what the current fashion is.
Well, my journey with, of course, Ashima Leena's journey is not 2 decades, Payal. It's almost 3 decades now. And it has been a great journey. It has been a great journey. And we saw the so many twists and turns of the fashion ourselves. We saw so many changes in the fashion. We saw so many, so many fashions going, like season after season, there's a change in the fashion. So you can imagine in 3 decades how much we have could have seen. And I think that today's consumer is very educated, Payal. That today's consumer knows what to have to wear. And consumers today know how to style themselves. So no more, I'll be honest to you, that they can only depend on designers to dress them up. They are intelligent enough to understand what looks nice on them. And when they wear something, it should be wearable, it should be looking nice on them. It's not only about following the your trends blindly, but also just be your comfort zone, style yourself, what looks nice on you. And I think it's all about your own, it's a personal style which matters today more than the trends which we try and put it out. But yet, we put out the trends to tell you, well, this is the new fashion. But now, how much that new fashion can be adapted by the consumer is now their personal choice. And I feel that, of course, sustainable fashion is something which I've always believed in. I believe that, like, for example, I do a lot of textiles. So now all those textiles, what we do is that we recycle them so that you can use it again and you can just use the same dupatta with a new silhouette. Suppose it's a beautiful dupatta you take or a beautiful
So
orni of textile.
could you give us a little bit more in depth into how you have been using sustainability in your brand? Like you said, you mix and match the dupatta with a different silhouette. Can you delve a little bit more into this?
Yes. You know what we do is, I tell you, like for example, if you have an old brocade sari with you, which could be your mom's sari or your mom-in-law sari, we do a beautiful, nice blouse with it. And with that sari, we also do maybe a short bolero or a small jacket with it. So it gives a new look altogether. So, and also because it looks different and new, traditional, and yet modern. You know, AL has always believed that we are actually a very deep-rooted traditional brand, but with a modern twist. We always
Yeah.
believe that even if you're dressed up traditionally, there is a modern element which every young girl would like to add to her. So with a sari, you can do that, or with even a old, I would say, maybe a very velvet old orni. If you don't have that, you can just make a nice silk trousers with that, with a short jacket, and take
Okay.
that only with it. It looks beautiful. I mean, it would be new, it will be a twist, and yet you will be wearing something which is like a head turner. So I've
Right.
always believed in mixing, we always mix and match so many things so that you're always looking fresh, and yet you have been able to use your beautiful stuff, the stuff which is not available today. You don't get to see those beautiful weaves anymore. So you can just pull out something from there, add something of your own, and just twist it around and make something new for yourself, which looks fashionable, which looks trendy, and yet it looks like, that it's modern. It's traditional, yet it's modern.
Yeah. And tell us now when you do bridal wear as well. So tell us about when the new generation of brides, when they're walking in, what is the effect of on their mood, on their emotional and their physical mood with this color psychology? So how do colors affect them? How do colors affect them psychologically and their mood?
I think what it is, basically Indian bride always would say, I want a red color, I want a pink color. Those are the colors which they are stuck with. But when we did something in a gold, people said, wow, it's beautiful. I think, the emotion is always connected with the bright colors for the bridal wear. She's
Have
always,
you done
to
uh,
just think.
brides there have also been designers, or I'm not sure if you've done this, but they are now going in for grays or silvers for daytime weddings, and then the work is in pink. So they're using these, not so traditional color combinations. Is that a reflection of their mental state and of their personality?
I think sometimes you want to look different, that is how you want to experiment it. It's not necessary what is the mental state or what is the emotion in it. It is that you want to look different. And yet we have done a lot of, bridal wear, which I have done even in white color. Ivory, I have done a bridal wear. So the girls feel that now no more white is considered to be inauspicious. So they want to wear
Right.
that. So I've also done the colors like mustard. I've done a mango color, which is for the bridal, which is beautiful. So it's not necessary that they have in mind that they have to do it with a different color or it will connect. I think every bride wants to look different and she wants to be going with this big day. She must have something which no one has seen before. So these are the experimenting techniques which they come back. These are the experimenting, ideas and opinions they come up with. And then I think it's wonderful because then you look different. And I remember I also did something lately for somebody, which was, it was quite astonishing. She wanted something in aqua color. Now with aqua, we did a silver embroidery. Then I matched the jewelry with
Right,
that.
but what do you think these colors that they go in for? What is it reflecting about their personality or about their mental, well-being? Is it an emotion that is coming out, or is it just trying to be a modern bride?
I think they just try to be modern bride.
Okay,
Emotion
and
is, I would put it emotion when the bride wants a red or a pink, then they want to look like a traditional bride. Okay, then there
right.
is an emotion in that. I want to
Okay,
wear red, because I want to look like a traditional bride. But these
okay. Moving
different
on from
colors
this.
is not a state of mind. It's only that they want to look modern, they want to look different, and that is how, it all depends. Also, something very interesting. These girls would have that one big image of themselves as a bride for their big day. After all, it's only once in a lifetime that they'll become a bride. So they want to achieve that. Irrespective of anything, they have that one stuck particular image that I want to wear that, I want to look like that. So that image, what they have in mind, has nothing to do, I think, with the state of mind. It's just that they want to, what they have dreamt for, they want their dream to come to reality.
And what do you do about, what is your take on eco-friendly fabrics? Are you imbibing any of those? And what do you think the future of the fashion industry is in regards to the eco-friendly fabrics like hemp, cotton, bamboo, linen, khadi, all these fabrics for educating the consumer and building consumer loyalty, showing that, the brand stands for conserving the planet as well?
I think a lot of surprisingly, I had a bride who just wanted a chanderi lehenga. Chanderi lehenga is quite, of course, many people are using the different kind of chanderis. There was silk, heavy silk chanderi, which I've always used for brides. More and more people are getting into a more comfort level of the evening. They want to be comfortable. And I think the fabrics what they want to use is something different than the traditional silk or the traditional bouquet. Like even if I use a bouquet, I do the art of textile crafting, like 10, 20 different kinds of weave. If you saw my show, which is Umair Wab, which I just did a Umair Wab show, my fifth collection. So we have used about maybe 18 different kinds of textile and rose paint to create this magical effect. So this is
So
what
that's
we're
nice,
looking
because what you're
at.
trying to say is that now you're using these eco-friendly fabrics and making them glamorous enough to wear on your wedding
Yes,
day, so that
absolutely.
every girl, like you said, has a dream of how she wants to get married on that particular day of her life. So even eco-friendly fabrics can be your choice of fabric for your wedding outfit.
Absolutely, absolutely. All this, it all depends how you carry yourself and how the designer is able to achieve that look for you. It's
Yeah.
all about not looking casual and how you dress up that fabric, what
So
intricacies you do with that fabric.
yeah, I just want to tell the viewers here, if you are a bride and you are looking to get married very soon and you're shopping for your wedding outfit, you can also go with these eco-friendly fabrics and still look as glamorous as you have imagined yourself to look, and be a conscious consumer at the same time. And it's not the thought that these fabrics are, very simple and day fabrics is not the thought process anymore. You can glam it up, you can jazz it up with all the work and be equally glamorous as in any other fabric. Lina, I wanted to also ask you, what do you think about the amount of waste that the fashion industry eliminates? How can you, how do you suggest that one, sort of curbs that to some sort of extent? Because it is the need of the hour. We cannot keep destroying the planet to this level. So how do you think that can happen?
It's very interesting question indeed, because what we did was I just did another, experiment with all the scraps, with whatever is left in my factory. It was so interesting that I had put certain people into it. I said, don't see the color, don't see what fabric it is, whether it's a textile fabric, it's chanderi. You keep stitching it together, and then we made a jacket out of it. You'll be surprised what a magical piece it came out to be. And it helped in so many ways, It helped to give me employment to many people in this lockdown period when they want to, be
Commend.
comfortable economically. Yes. So I was able to, give them employment. I was also able to get something which people had not seen before. I was able to preserve what we thought was a waste. So it was a win-win situation for everybody. And it turned out to be so beautiful because, there was no thought process involved, no deliberate attempt involved to do, okay, we have to match this, we have to match that. I just told them this is a, like a whole bunch of fabrics. We keep stitching them to this pattern. And we were able to do a beautiful one sari. We were able to do
That
so many
is
jackets.
absolutely amazing, because I've been getting on board the fashion fraternity every week, and you're the first one who's actually said this, that they've taken all their waste and they've woven it together without any thought process. It's like, let's start this journey and let's see where it takes us, and it led to a beautiful jacket. Now if everyone in the industry starts doing this, I mean, we can have really some bespoke pieces which are not going to be replicated, and I think that is the way forward. Also, Nina, now this is completely a topic that I was talking about to the viewers before you logged in. This is how we are converting waste into something beautiful, so that the consumer does not look at waste in that traditional old-fashioned term. It can actually be used as a raw material for something new. What is your take on fast fashion and the need to completely move away from that? With all the high street brands and all in the fashion industry, they come out with styles every week. They're launching so many garments of the same style every week, and all of them don't sell. So what happens then with this, and how do we kind of educate the consumer in a way where they should move away from this?
I think it's so important that first of all you think that it is important to do something beyond yourself. Like when I did this line of I was telling you, I put everything together without a thought process, and a magical effect came up. So I think one must have to first make a promise to oneself that we will do something and we will accept it also. Because
Yeah.
it's really hard for the consumer also to accept something which they've never done before. So they should be ready and they should be mentally prepared to go beyond themselves and then do something which is not so traditional and which is not so which is not so in the streamline. We have to be different. We have to be prepared for that. I'll just give you a very interesting example. This was about the fabrics I spoke about. Now, I also had, it's interesting that we had so many threads. All these threads are left out, to embroidery threads and your sewing threads and so much beads and so much. So what I did was, I had about so many women who were looking for the jobs. I said, you try making tie the threads together, knot them together like a macrame, make something interesting out of it. And you won't believe the kind of the tassels which came out in it, which we put it on our casual tunics and other things. It was unbelievable. So it means that, I think the consumer doesn't need to be taught anything. It is only
Okay.
your own mindset. You don't
Okay.
have to teach anything to them. And I think they have their own thinking and they are educated themselves. Today we don't have to teach fashion to anybody. I was
Right.
teaching in Pearl Academy, I remember, and then I knew so much about how to teach my consumers, do this, do that. Today's young girls are very well aware. All the women are very well aware how to style, what to wear, what to do, and how we can use our stuff, how to go forward with it, and how to make a twist in their styling. So I don't think we need to teach them anything.
Okay. Now, the last topic that I want to actually ask you about is what, according to you, and you have to tell educate the viewers who keep repeatedly asking this question because they still need to learn about this, even if they're not learning about fashion and how to style themselves. But can you tell them what is sustainability, what is sustainable fashion, and why it is the need of the hour?
I think sustainable fashion is something that whatever you have, please use it, sustain it for a longer time. Just keep
Yes.
it in mind that your mind has to be also sustained along with the sustainable fashion. You have to have that mindset that, well, this is a nice scarf. I'm going to just use it again. Maybe I'll put this scarf into some other way and then I will reuse it. Maybe I'll make it like a short kaftan out of this big scarf and
Yeah,
use it. So
absolutely.
I
I
think
always say that it's just how you style it. You can wear it 35 times. This whole thing of not repeating your clothes is not the way forward. Repeat them, wear them differently. They look different every time.
you have to style them differently. You have to style them differently. Like I remember lately, I had done the scarf. You just tie them and put them in your bag. They look beautiful with your just a jacket and a nice western wear. So it's a different way of tying a scarf. You just put a knot and put it on your bag. So I think it's just how you use the same garment, how you use the same thing over and over again, and not let it go waste. And first of all, make sure that okay, we are going to use it differently, and you look different every time you wear it. Now,
Yeah.
the same blouse, for example, if you take a blouse, you wear with different saris, it will look different every time. You don't need to just junk it and say, oh, I'm bored with this
Yeah,
blouse. Okay,
that's right.
this blouse, you can also wear it with such a light lehenga. The blouse you can wear with just like like on top of something and say, okay, I look different. You
Yeah,
know?
and also I was telling the like last week or the week before, I was telling the viewers how you don't need to keep hoarding. You buy a few key pieces and then keep wearing them more and more. That's why it's okay to spend a little bit more, but buy a quality product.
Well, that's very interesting because I know I have a banker client who buys so regularly from me. So what she does is that she goes to the bank in the morning. If she has a dinner, she has a whole set of scarves with her. So she will just take out in the evening, put on little makeup, change her shoes, change her bag, put that scarf, and she will look different every time. So although she's wearing the same attire, but the whole look changes. And
Yeah.
you don't need too many things. I think styling, this is what styling is all about. You don't need to hold too much. You can just look nice, beautiful, and you look and look great using those things, styling it differently. We're
Yeah.
making it like a beautiful tunic can be worn in so many different ways with so many different trousers, with a scarf, without a scarf, with this kind of a trouser, with a flare trouser, with a slim pants. So you will look different. I don't think that it's important that we now try and see that there is a sustainability in fashion. And we
And
just not so much
also
of waste.
an important point that you hit on earlier is one of the reasons also why sustainability is important. Besides, the better not making use of the waste and things, is also the kind of employment you are giving the local women and the men. That's
Absolutely. This was something which I did it and it gave me so much of satisfaction. Because you see, the scraps from a fashion house or from the fashion factory is so much that you cannot even imagine how much. Because when we cut the fabric, of course, there's so many scraps. There are some bigger pieces, there are some very tiny pieces of 2 inches, 4 inches. Imagine how you can just put them together and you can even make a nice, beautiful bed cover for your home. You can make them into cushion covers. You can make them into a table linen. You can make a beautiful mats, the
but
dining
tell
table
us
mats.
a little bit about this,
So
Lina.
much you can do.
Tell us a little bit about using fabrics that were used for garments can you actually use them for home linen as well? Aren't they too thin?
Yes, we can. Like, I'll tell you something very interesting. All these textiles, you can use it for your formal dinner. You just line them with a cotton. You put a just nice, beautiful, you just foam it properly and make it into a proper mats. And you can
Oh,
use it. You see all the time these beautiful brocade mats to be used in formal dinners. All these ethnic, the big restaurants you see, how they use those beautiful table, cloth and the other things. There's so much of textile used. All this can be used. For example, very interesting. You can even use one of your dupattas and then just make it because you're bored with it, you've worn it many times and you don't want to use it again. You can just use it and make those beautiful 6-mat sets you can make out of one dupatta. A
I
set
love
of
it.
6 mats, I mean. A
That's
set
thank
of
you.
6 mats. And then you
That
can also, match it, all about creativity. You can match your beautiful crockery with it. And how would you serve it? So even that one dupatta should not be wasted. Even that one dupatta can be used. If you have that, see, I believe basic thing is you should have that feeling and you should have that thought that I have to do it. And I
yeah,
will not waste it. I'll
yeah,
make sure I use it. So there's
yeah.
so many ways you can do it. So many ways you can do it.
Well, that's been great. So I hope everyone has picked up all the such important and good insights that Lena has given us. Firstly, for the brides who are going bridal shopping, you can go to Lena as well. And when you're doing your bridal shopping, going for sustainable fabrics, they can look very, very glamorous. It's a myth that they are not glamorous fabrics and they are for the daytime. It's not true. You can use it as a bridal outfit. You can do all the embroideries and things that you want and go for that. Secondly, sustainability is the need of the hour. Remodel, restyle, whatever you have, make them into table mats, make them into bed linen. And Lena has actually gone a step further. She has given employment to the artisans of the villages. She has taken all little and big combined scrap pieces and made beautiful jackets, which is the first time I'm hearing it on my show, which is, I think, commendable. I hope you do many more such projects because that's the need of what we or need of the hour. So yes, it's been really, really good, and also she has made it very clear that there is no trend that has to be followed to look good. Certain brides have notions in their head since they were a little girl of the colors they wanted to wear, and certain brides are more modern and more experimental. So it's all just a matter of outlook, and that's the way they go bridal shopping. Right. So, Lena, is there any last note you want to leave the viewers with before we close? Please, the floor is yours. You can give them any advice you think is necessary on their sustainable living and how they can imbibe it in their lifestyle, not only in their wardrobe, but also in what they consume into their body.
I think they should all promise themselves that we will do something and we must sustain and we will not waste. If that promise is made to oneself, then everything else works. Only when we are not convinced, only when we don't want to take that promise and we don't want to promise ourselves, okay, I want to do this, then there's no point even talking about sustainability. The basic thing is that it must come from your heart. It must come from your mind that I will make sure I do not waste. And I am going to use this, whatever I have, in the best possible way and almost, in a most creative manner, what they can. So it will be nice. And I think you must also, Payal, do something about that if they want to get back to you. I would rather take the see, I'm a person who's always had a very practical approach to function. I believe in just not, okay, you talk and you listen. If you want to do something, I think you must have a family where we can give them suggestions and they come on the board and we say, okay, you please suggest what we have to do. I will be happy to do
Okay,
that.
so
It will
for
be nice.
everyone who has these comments and suggestions and questions, please drop your questions on the Namami Life page and address them to the Ashima and Lena handle, and Lena will be more than happy to answer whatever your queries are, whatever guidance you need. She's there to give it to you. Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Lena, for joining us today. We're out of time
Thank you
now,
so
but
much.
it's really good conversation with you. You've given some beautiful insights and interesting insights, and insights that are not intimidating and they are actually doable. So that's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Payal. Thank you so much, Payal, for having me over. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye.